Okay, hello everyone. Just thought I'd give a little bit of an introduction actually this evening, just to kick things off. So, my name is Gogs, or my nickname's Gogs. My name is Gordon. I'm just the face behind the commentator. So nice to see you all. We are here tonight to bring to you Racing Series Europe's GT3 Championship. We're in Season 4. This is round 2 at Silverstone. But I'm just want to have a quick couple of minutes just to talk about what we have sort of in store and what we can expect this evening. We've had one race already at Barcelona last time out, and just sort of go over the championship and what we can expect from the drivers. A couple of people to look out for this evening. So first of all, and I've got my phone in front of me, so if I do keep looking down the way, that is why. Championship leader, race winner last time out was Matteo Di Stefano in the Ferrari. Absolute blinding pace, pole position, fastest lap, and the race win from the Italian. They're currently first in the championship and probably one of the favourites to win. Battling them at the front of the grid, I do expect to see last season's reigning champion Adrian Hanowitz. There he is, there in his red and black McLaren. Hanowitz and Di Stefano fought all the way through last season, and I think it was down to a DNF from Di Stefano at Kota, actually, which is the reason, I think one of the main reasons why the championship did swing in Hanowitz's favour. Season 2 champion Alex Rosnov in the Ferrari there at the front of the pit garage, and sitting along next to them, actually, no they're not actually, yes he is, Will Friedman. Will Friedman is the Season 1 champion for the GT3 championship and won the GT4 championship in Season 2 as well. So I would expect to see those guys really battling for the front positions this season as well. Another driver to look out for, we've got Carl Marley, who's currently the fastest on track in that purple and pink Ferrari. Look out to see the 99 car at the front of the leaderboard, and another person who had a cracking race, fought their way through the grid actually, was Ed Sterling, who's not currently on track in the blue and white McLaren with the pink trim. We'll keep an eye on them. Drivers to look out for that did not have a great race last time out. Bergerton, who was involved in an incident near the start of the race. One of the faster drivers, he was well on the same racing team as Di Stefano. So I expect to see them up near the sharp end of the grid. And I do need to make a point out as well. I need to keep an eye on how Kid Barrett does this evening, after they pointed out that I missed most of their charge through the field from the back. So those are the big sort of hitters just now. Just again, just as you missed that at the start, putting my face on the stream just for the start of the stream, just so you can see I am the face behind the voice for Racing Series Europe. I am also one of the admins, but I will be bringing to you the commentary for this season. So I'm going to take my face off the screen, save you all from looking at that for the rest of the evening. As we have 2 minutes of practice left, we're going to concentrate on the action. So, toodles, but not toodles. Okay, camera's off. You don't have to look at my disgusting face any longer. We are here for round 2 of Racing Series Europe's GT3 championship. Like I said, we have got a fantastic championship lined up. I said that at the start of the last race. Racing Series Europe does intend to conquer the world, and they have set out a very good chance of doing so with this calendar. We are now at the home of British Grand Prix racing, but we are here for GT3 drive racing tonight. We are at Silverstone, as I previously mentioned, and if we look at it on the right hand side of the screen, we see we have a final couple of minutes of free practice We'll then move on to our qualifying session. We have 15 minutes for all the drivers to go out and set their lap times. Then we will have the main event. We have 75 minutes of a race here at Silverstone. The drivers have one mandatory pit stop, and in that pit stop all they have to do is top up with fuel. So that raises the question, will they go for the fresh tyres? Will they try and eke it out to the end and do a quick splash and dash, or will they do it somewhere in the middle? That all remains to be seen and more. I'm going to take just a very quick break from the stream. We'll still have the action on the screen as we watch Bergerton crossing the line in P5. Well, I just find the stream itself and get that shared amongst Racing Series Europe members. Okay, thank you very much for holding on there. We are back in action for round 2 here at Silverstone. We are just watching the final couple of cars crossing the line. Tato Nation, they're in chat. Good evening, thank you very much for joining us. Good evening, yes, to everyone. Good evening, afternoon, good morning, wherever you are watching us from in the world. We are, of course, here at the home of British Motor Racing. We've got one car left on track, and that is Chris Schrock there in the number 2 car, who's came in at the last minute this evening. We'll keep an eye on how they fare, of course. Daza T also in the chat. Good evening from down there in Wales. Thank you very much for jumping on the stream just before you head out in qualifying, which has just started now. We have got lovely dry weather here at the home of British Motorsport, as there is a mad dash to get out of the pits. Who has been bold, who has been brave, and who has got out in front? That is Rosnov's got out in front, with Will Friedman in second there. Di Stefano just behind, Ferrer just behind them as well. So some of the quickest drivers on the track have been some of the quickest drivers to get out of the pits. Sorry. And we also have, it looks like, Ed Sterling there as well, who's managed to jump himself out of the pit. So all these guys I'd be expecting to see battling for a very good position in the grid. We do have quite a substantial field this evening, 36 drivers in the server. That might actually be an RSE record. I will need to check with lead admin Mr. McCutcheon, who's currently driving the 778 Ferrari. So we'll double check in with them later on this evening. Yellow flags out in the Maggots Beckett's sequence of corners for car number 13. That is Van Wanrooij in the Honda NSX. Some beast to tame is for them. Now remember, there is no overtaking in qualifying, so that's something that we all need to keep an eye on, as Friedman is all over the back. He pulled over now, he's looking for space, but that is Di Stefano's went past. Friedman's looking for a space. Overtaking is not supposed to happen. So we'll need to keep an eye on how this one fares for the Frenchman, because there's now a massive build-up of cars behind. He's not going to get his space. The first person over is going to be Alex Rosnov, then Di Stefano, but there's still some people coming out of the pit lane. Yellow flags out showing for the Frenchman in the Porsche on that back straight. Slow moving vehicles round Luffield, but just watching, it looks like the 992 of Rosnov's managed to get himself in at least some kind of clear traffic for the meantime, as we follow them through the Maggots and Beckett sequence now. Really hugging that curb on the inside, and now it's foot down time as he comes down the back straight. I do love this camera shot here with just on the bridge, on the gangway, as he comes now into the corner at the end of the straight. This long sweeping right-hander, one of the key overtaking opportunities on the track here. We've got yellow flags all over the place. I think there might have been a bit of a crash at the back of that area there, the back of the back straight there. What's going on here? And there's cars everywhere, cars littering all over the place. That's Beverman, Lombardo. Oh my goodness, we'll come back to that in a second. We need to keep an eye on Rosnov though, as he is now setting laps. Car 31 again off track. Rosnov swings just after the Hamilton straight. He's now into the deep braking zone. Very tricky corner this one here. Di Stefano's still tucked in behind him. A long lap here at Silverstone, so it does take quite some time to get round the track. If there is a track that we can fit 36 cars on to complete valid qualifying laps, it is going to be this one. So I need to have a refresher on all the corner names at Silverstone, I think, at some point during our intermission, because he's going round Luffield now onto the old pit straight. This is the pit straight we'll be using. The start finish line is just up ahead. So let's have a look on the left hand side of the screen now. We'll see driver times appear. 1:58.6. 7 Rosnov. Di Stefano already goes into pole position. Provisionally at least, with Ferrer and Sterling 1, 2, 3 and 4 as we expected. Car 19 is going to cross the line very shortly, and Lightning Whiting goes into P5. Very packed grid just now. Frisk in the blue and the yellow Ferrari. Of course, I was mistaken there when I claimed he had won the BMW off-season multi-class in his class. I was advised to correct myself. My apologies. And we've got some more overtaking going down the back straight there. That's the 518. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's Ben Berriman in the 518 car. It is indeed being overtaken down the back straight. We'll come back to that one just now. Frisk has got a car all over his rear end coming onto the start finish straight. Now this is one of the tricky situations you have in the qualifying session. Frisk sets his time. He's got no obligation to move out of the way of the car behind. Absolutely none. So I wonder how this one's going to progress, because you can't overtake that car behind. The blue, red and white Ferrari should be yielding. Back off, save the lap and get the next one. So up at front is Di Stefano, Marley, Rosnov, Ferrer, Sterling, Miller, Van Buren, Howarth, Whiting and Van Wanrooij. So we'll keep an eye on the top 10 just now, and these two is only going to end in tears. That's why I've stuck with it in the meantime, because it is something that was mentioned to the drivers in their briefing earlier on. There's no obligation here to move out of the way. The car in front does have the right of way. But what we're going to do is jump to someone else going around the track just now. So let's see who can be our... give us a lap guide there. Is it Borcherno? Who's coming round there now? Huh? That's this move, that's what's happened there in the driver tracker. So let's see, we've got the 187. Marcel in the chat, good evening. Thank you very much for joining us. Disappointing you're not on the track this evening. Hopefully have you back very shortly. If there is anyone you want us to have a look at any point this evening, of course, just drop a name in the chat and I will double check on how their race is going this evening. So let's have a look at who's coming around the final sort of section now. There's a big build up of cars there again on the way into Luffield. The 911 car, is that Friedman? That's Miller. TOK there getting caught up in the background. So let's follow Miller actually round this circuit. So he's coming round now on to the start finish straight. A bit of traffic there just in front. It looks like it's moving out of the way into Copse Corner. Infamous, of course, for when Hamilton sent Verstappen into hospital. That's my opinion on that one. I'll let you guys argue with that one in the chat. Into the Maggots Beckwith sequence now. Very bumpy on those curbs, but that Porsche handles them very nicely. TOK really working at that wheel, you can see in the car there, but he's got through the section successfully just now, as is the Porsche driver. He's coming down this long straight now, the long back straight, into this tricky right-hander now, the long sweeping right-hander at the end off the hanger straight. Make sure you don't run over that curb, that might invalidate his lap. Tricky braking zone now, watch the sausage curb on the inside. And then now on the long right-hander onto the Hamilton straight. And we jump now on board with the Porsche driver now. Tricky, very fast, very tricky right-hander. Every corner is tricky on this circuit. There are no easy corners around Silverstone with those trademark black and white curbs. Into the sharp right-hander, very easy to lock a brake there and end up going straight on. Exit is crucial out of this one. It looks like he's absolutely nailed it and used every single square centimetre of that grasscrete on the outside. He's now up through the gears and into Brooklands now. Looks to get that late apex. He gets it turned down and cuts the inside of the corner very nicely. Into Luffield now. It's Luffield 1 and 2, but we'll take it as 1. Miller double apexes the corner. He runs very wide but keeps it within track limits. He may be compromised on exit. We've got yellow flags out there. I think that's for a car in the pit lane, but that's Miller 10 milliseconds off. What a lap from Miller. Great lap from them. So that's McCutcheon just leaving the pits now as the Sky McLaren just goes past him. Again, a big bundle of cars there. I can't make out who that is. Car number 8 involved in that traffic jam at the end of the pit lane. Some cars still in the pits as well. That's interesting to see that one. Expected to see them out and about. So a couple of people are now leaving the pits. There is only 5 minutes off the qualifying session left. It is Silverstone, that's about 2 laps. So need to get out of there now to make sure you do get as much an opportunity as you can to get round here and set yourself that lap that you need. This is Peter Dalton, our resident Aussie here in Racing Series Europe in the black and blue Lamborghini. He's just coming on to start a lap, and I think we'll follow him just now. Nope, we're not going to follow him just now because he is pulling over to the side of the track. Lombardo's just leaving the pit lane. Chulela's going into the pit lane. Right, who had a fantastic race last time out. 227, the yellow flag is off at the end of the Maggots Beckett's sequence. I'm getting myself tongue-tied this evening. It's going to be a long night if I can't sort that one out. So we're looking to see Wright had a very good race, debut race at RAC last time out. We'll keep an eye on how they got on this evening as well. A lot of cars are sitting in the pit lane, maybe qualifying done for them. So McCutcheon, we'll keep an eye on McCutcheon as he goes into Copse Corner, swings that car around. He has of course been driving the Ferrari for quite some time now. He is used to how it handles, so he'll have the confidence to throw it into turn 1. Turns 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 all kind of link together, as we've seen earlier on before. On board now with the Scotsman, and he is put down onto the hangar straight. Tato Nation there in the chat saying that he's done his personal best and still 1.8 off the leaders. That's High Hayworth there, Haworth in the 55 McLaren. Still on board McCutcheon, as he's now in through, yeah, oh yes, on the left-right section now, just before the Hamilton straight. As he powers that Ferrari up through the gears, just clips that inside curb. There is a very nasty little sausage curb on the inside there. You need to be cautious with that one in the race. McCutcheon takes every single millimetre off that curb on the inside, minimising the length of track he needs to travel. Of course, less distance means more time. He's backed out of this one, I think. I think he's backed off. It certainly looks like he has. Here's another one we're interested in this evening. The 876 car, the AMG Mercedes. They're just coming through that section as well. A little bit of traffic. There is many cars in the pits. No one really seems keen to get out there actually. I think they're more concerned for the sort of car setup for the longer race. We'll see if any of them do rejoin, but it's 1 minute 22, so they won't. So anyone starting a lap now, this will be their last flying lap as Kid Barrett rounds Luffield now for the second, at least the second last time. His foot's down in that big AMG Mercedes engine, powering him down the home straight and crosses the line. Does improve up to 22nd. It's a good lap from Barrett. So this is going to cause a little bit of confusion this evening. We've got Borchell in the 277, and we've got another car as well in the 227. We'll try and keep track of that one. Yellow flags are showing there. That's car 773. That's McKeel is off track, and car 52 as well. Yellow flags. Di Stefano is invalidated. He will not go any faster. Ed Sterling currently holds second place in the grid. Cars all over the track there. Look, who is that out of the way? All the way out there. That's car 2. That's the 227 that we talked about earlier on. But on board Borchell as he comes round now into the Hamilton straight. He's got no traffic in front of him. We'll see what he can do just now. Di Stefano, car 52, I think, is still out there. No, he's not. He's in the pits. Marley's in the pits. Friedman is the next person. Friedman's going to be last across the line. So we'll keep an eye on how Friedman gets on. The car 54 is coming over just now. Oh, there's so many drivers here, it's so hard to keep track. That is Wright. Wright comes across the line, goes up into P10. That's a good lap from Wright. Borcher's still out there as well. Coming through Luffield now, doesn't have long to go. Out of the final corner now, foot down. And across the line and goes. Stays. Canzo does not improve either. Oh my goodness. Ferrer has decided to abandon the lap and fly himself into the pit lane as fast as he possibly can. Good practice for the race, I suppose. But Friedman's out there, and what's happened there? Be interesting to see what happens in the replay, but Friedman's now coming round the Luffield, I think it's, no sorry, not Luffield, Brooklands, into Luffield now. This is the last person on track, I think, can displace any of the top 5. That Porsche now needs to just fly up through the gears. We're on board. He takes as much of that inside corner as he possibly can. It comes across the line. Doesn't improve position. And that's the end of qualifying. So what I'm going to do is just very quickly. I've saved that replay. It doesn't look like there's a single car on track. There we go. So I've saved the replay. We might then get to see some of the pole laps. We might get them posted up on YouTube as well. Some of the faster laps later on in the week. But we will now return to the garage. We're stuck on board on the onboard camera for at least the next couple of minutes. So what we'll do is we'll look at the timetables instead. Hanowitz, the reigning champion. We've just missed that. I'm lucky I've taken the replay. We will have a look at that one later on. But Adrian Hanowitz takes pole position for round 2 here at Silverstone. He went 1:57.582 with the fastest first and second sector. Di Stefano is in second, so those two will be renewing their rivalry at the front of the field. Ed Sterling fancies a crack at the championship as well. He's sitting in third, only a couple of milliseconds behind Di Stefano. Miller in the Porsche 992 in 4th place, coming off the back of a very strong performance actually in Barcelona. Marley in 5th. Will Friedman starts in P6. So there's the grid there, all lined up. I do like that actually. That's a great sight to behold. Felizardo is in 7th. Rosnov back there in P8. Ferrer in 9th. Wright in 10th. Van Buren in 11th. McCutcheon 12th. Bergerton 13th. Berryman 14th. Dalton is in 15th. Dalborm in 16th. Whiting 17th, Van Wanrooge in the Honda is in P18. Zoutberg, oh I'm so sorry. Zoutberg in the Ferrari is in P19 with Borcher rounding off the top 20. Chulila is 21st, Kid Barrett 22nd, Makil 23rd, Lombardo 24th, Hammerlund in 25th, Quigley 26th. Hayworth 27th, Dean 28th, Schwartz 29th. Collar rounds off the top 30. 31st is Kanzo, Strulitz 32nd, Townsend 33rd, Fisk 34th, Class 35th, and Davies rounds off the grid for this evening. So like I said, we've got on the top right of the screen, we can see the race timer. 1 hour and 15 minutes of racing. This is going to be a long one. We have got, it's almost an endurance race we've got going here. The night sky is going to descend on the track and we're going to be under the floodlights before the end of this one, presenting another challenge to the drivers, of course. The temperature is currently 10 degrees. That is going to drop. No, in real life it is not 10 degrees currently in Great Britain. It is about -2. Unfortunately, we do not simulate snow in Assetto Corsa Competizione. So we will have to deal with this temperature, but that is going to drop as the night goes on. The driver's pit stop will consist of at least refueling the car. Tyres optional, so that could be some of the strategy options for this evening. The drivers could save time by not taking a new set of tyres. Hanowitz is on the inside of turn 1, Di Stefano outside, so that'll be an interesting situation to watch.
30 seconds.
And watch out for Sterling as well. We have 30 seconds to go before the formation lap gets underway. Rosnov's a little bit out of position there in P8, as is McCutcheon in P12. We'll look to see them fly through the field. Berryman as well, tucked in there in P14.
10 seconds.
We'll keep an eye on exactly everything that we'll try to keep an eye on all these battles, all the stories throughout this evening. Collar as well in the Audi, the lone Audi there, I think, in the field. Now Davies also driving an Audi That car has been hit very hard by the balance of power. Quick story on that. If we look on the right hand side, we see cars have been given a handicap based upon their ability and their performance to try and even the playing field. So we can see the McLaren has been hit with an extra 18 kilos. The Stefano and the Ferrari, all the Ferraris hit with the same 9 kilograms. Whereas the Honda NSX and the Mercedes AMG have had weight taken out of the car to make them a bit more lively. I want to have a quick look there actually at, where is it, Dalton's car, 12 kilos in the Lambo and a massive 40 kilograms placed in the Audi. So, that's our race preview this evening. The formation lap is now underway. Hanowitz leads them off. Di Stefano tucked in behind the Sterling in third, Miller in fourth. Keep an eye on row 3 behind as well, Marley and Friedman. Very good battle going on there with Felizardo and Rosnov 7th and 8th. 2 McLarens, Ferrer and Wright 9th and 10th. Bergerton, Berryman and McCutcheon there, that 3-way will be looking to fight their way through the field. But a big, you can see the fuel spread there actually on the driver tracker on the bottom right off the screen. As Hanowitz is almost at the end of the hangar straight, while Davies just coming on to the back of the hangar straight. A little bit further down the field, out of position there, Whiting, very quick driver back there in 17th. Barrett had a very good qualifying session there, up into 22nd as well. We'll keep an eye on how they perform this evening. Quigley in the Ferrari, the 76th there as well. Hayworth, who's been in and out of the chat, thank you very much for keeping me on my toes. It is Dean in the Sky McLaren this evening as well. Townsend there, the Pink Panther, still sporting that lovely pink and grey livery. Instantly recognisable on track. We do have an Aston Martin with us this evening as well, that burgundy and luminous day-glow yellow. And Davies there, of course, trademark livery, the black, blue and green. So now on to what's called the... oh, we're not on to it, we're way past it now. These guys are all the way into the final sector almost. I'm going to get a quick look at the track layout for Silverstone so I can try and remember some of these corner names. And have a quick drink. Okay, now we are now into the final sections of the qualifying, sort of the formation lap. Look at that, I've got a quick screenshot of that one there. That'll look fantastic later on. But right now we are rounding the final corner. We've got car 21 miles back there. What's happened to car 21? We'll come back to that one in a second, surely. Car 21, that is class all the way back. They're going to end up being back in the pit lane, but up front, as the car pack now gets backed up, we've got Adrian Hanowitz there in P1. Alongside them, Di Stefano, ready to resume their epic battle from last season. Sterling and Miller behind in row 2, Marley and Friedman in row 3 as well. Don't go anywhere as we await the green light for round 2 to kick off. And we are green, we are underway. It's a great start by the McLaren drivers as Sterling has to back out of any potential issues into turn 1. A little bit further back, everyone seems to have got round turn 1 reasonably okay, very well behaved. This is where it gets tricky for them though, as they fly through the high speed section. Miller's got ahead, off Ed, Sterling, Hanowitz still out in front. Felizardo I think is Friedman's almost alongside Sterling as well. Sterling's had a bad start, not the best start anyway. Everyone coming round the Maggott and Beckett section as well, as they now come through and take the first sector point and the driver tracker goes a bit haywire. We'll catch up with that in a second. Dalton comes through the corner at the end of the straight, and there's a huge crash there. Oh no, oh no. Oh dear. So we've had a lot of cars involved in that one. I'm not even going to try and pick that one apart. There's too much to try and work out what's happening at the back there. Car 76, car 91 involved. Big crashes all round there. It looks like everyone... Let's see, car 778, car 773, car 277, car 91 and car 76 all definitely involved in that one. They're still 2x2 as they come through. I think this is farm, potentially, maybe village. Who are we watching just now? That's some nice driving actually between those guys out there. Class, I think they're just moving their way up in front. Rosnov's tucked in behind Sterling now. Friedman's down there in 8th behind Bergerton. Great start by Bergerton up into P7. You know, Friedman's in the pit, so Friedman may be involved in that as well, or maybe maybe it's tactical, getting out of traffic, of course. Looks like we've had a bit of an issue at the back of the grid. There's some people coming through the final corner. These guys are very likely going to duck into the pits. No one else seems to have ducked in. That is McCutcheon. McCutcheon involved in a big accident there as well. So McCutcheon in the pits lap 1. Let's keep an eye on how they end up coming back. It looks like Borcher's got some damage to his steering. Marley's in the pits, Chulila as well, and McKeel in the pits. So Barrett's maybe involved in the accident as well. Right, okay, so we've maybe caught up with that a little bit. End the lap, so we've done a lap now. We've maybe tried to stabilise a little bit. Hanowitz out in front of Di Stefano with Miller all over his backside. Sterling, not the best start from them, but seems to have recovered. Rosnov is a fantastic start out from 8th. Felizardo's got Bergerton all over his backside as well, being pushed along almost. Van Buren is in 8th. Great to see Jeff there back racing this evening. That looks like the Dalton. Dalton up in the top 10, running P9 just now. And that's Berriman tucked in behind us. So what's happened? Whiting, where's Whiting? Whiting's maybe lost a position or two there. Dalbom's tucked in behind as well. Let's keep an eye on this one. This is Bergerton now applying the pressure, it looks like, to Felizardo. Felizardo spent most of the Barcelona race, of course, with severe pressure from the rear. So he's no stranger to it. The track temperature and air temperature has now dropped to 9 degrees. We can see it's getting darker. That's going to lower the grip available, the maximum grip available to the drivers. Still trying to pick apart what happened in lap 1. There's cones flying all over the place. Berriman thinks about tucking up the inside of Dalton into Maggoton. Berriman loses the rear on the way into that tricky section. He keeps it on the black stuff, keeps it going in the right direction. That's an amazing catch from the Englishman there. He's now going to be under pressure from Magnus Dalbom though, behind in the 82 Ferrari. Bergerton's alongside Felizardo and there's contact, and that's allowed Whiting into the fray. Whiting's got the racing line, Bergerton's then the inside. Keeps position into there so far, but that's Felizardo lost 1 position, and that's a huge smash off the sausage curb. Whiting's lost the rear, keeps it out of the wall. He's going to have to be very careful on rejoining. He's moved into the path of cars coming through the final. Oh my goodness gracious me. He's somehow avoided any contact and got himself going. That one might end up in the steward's office. He's alongside Townsend, so he's rejoined behind Townsend. Townsend up to 20th. Great start from the Welshman, who I'm pretty sure was back in the bottom 30 We've got yellow flags out at the end of the hangar straight for car 773. That's McKeel, who's stopped on track in that Ferrari. So we need to try and find out what's happened there. But if we look out in front, Hanowitz is now taking the fastest lap at the end of lap 2. Di Stefano's 1.4 behind, but Miller, who seems to have found an absolute rocket ship this season to race in, is putting Di Stefano under all kinds of pressure in that Porsche. Now into the Maggots-Beckett section. Yeah, he's definitely, looks like he's got the pace. This doesn't look like a fluke. He did it last time out as well. There is yellow flags, of course, down the bottom off the hangar straight, so no overtaking into the corner at the end of the hangar straight there. Into Stowe, it's Stowe, yep. And now we're going to come into Vale now as well. I'm learning as we go as well this evening. Lizardo is now all over the back of Bergerton as well, so these guys are just not letting it go. There's damage on the front of that Ferrari actually, that gold Ferrari. He's taking a bite out of the sausage too. That's maybe going to let Van Buren into the fray now as well. I absolutely love this corner. It's so satisfying when you get it right. He's taking a lot of curb and no danger whatsoever. However, Felizardo understeers wide, maybe as a result of the damage on the front of that Ferrari. Dalton and Berryman, of course, keeping tabs on what's going on just in front as well, because they'll be looking at potentially trying to make that jump forward. Miller's now taking the fastest lap of the race. He's still tucked behind Di Stefano in that green and white car. Stelling's broke free of Rosnov a little bit. And I think this is as good a time as any just to kind of show, to point out how stacked this grid actually is. In any given championship in sim racing in Assetto Corsa Competizione on PlayStation 4, you could go into a lobby and find any of the top 10 here, to be honest, leading a race. That's how stacked this grid really is. OK is now falling back a little bit there. Miller at the back end of that Porsche looking a little bit of a handful now. Maybe he falls back into Sterling's grasp as Sterling sets the fastest lap of the race. Let's have a quick look back here. Bergerton's pulling free a little bit from Felizardo, who's ran wide on the exit off the chapel there. He's now coming down into Stowe. He's under pressure. He's taking the inside. 4 cars side by side there into that corner. As a potential overtaking opportunity, that car is parked on the exit has now been removed, so overtaking may now resume there, but Van Buren is not letting this one go. Berryman, of course, just sniffing around the back of Dalton, looking for a move there as well. Through the Hamilton straight, 5 in a row there. Now, I always find this part of the race very interesting, because now the leaders are coming up to the back of Boucher, who has early pit stop, and might be impeded, and this is where some controversy can unfold, some drama. There was, of course, some close battering all through the field this evening. It is, of course, impossible for us all to catch everything, so if anyone is wanting any sort of clips or any sort of update on any driver, please leave a little message in the chat and we'll sniff around, we'll have a little look, see how they're getting on. Hanowitz now, you can see the gap there, he's close to the back of the first lapped vehicle. That's the 277 car. Just in behind Di Stefano, still being pushed along by Miller and Sterling. We've only had 10.5 minutes off this race. Cars have been damaged in and out of the pits. That is the man. That can count as the mandatory pit stop as long as they take fuel, and they have. So everyone there has taken fuel. Look how close now Sterling is to the back of Miller as he comes down into. Oh my God, they're so close, almost pushing each other through the club corner now. And nothing doing this time around. So Dean in the Sky McLaren's under severe pressure now. We've got Hayworth, Kanzo and Schrott all in a row here. McLaren, Ferrari, McLaren, and look how close he is to the back of that Sky McLaren. Believe in better. Is he going to chuck it down the inside here? He doesn't this time around, but that Ferrari looks so good on the brakes. It really is compared to the McLaren. A potential move about to happen here. We're going to stick with this one just now, because he's going to get the slipstream, the effect when you almost push the air away from the car behind. It's almost like a tow rope, but you pull yourself towards the car's rear wing in front. And nothing doing this time into Brooklands. Di Stefano's still out in front. Miller second, Miller third, Hanowitz out in front, Di Stefano second, Miller third, Sterling fourth, Rosnov in fifth. Big gap back to Bergerton. Felizardo is under pressure from Van Buren. This is not normally an overtaking zone as they come through the Maggott and Beckett section. Look at the speed carried by Felizardo, he's ran straight on. I'm not sure how comfortable I am with him keeping that position there. The game does have a system built in to prevent that kind of advantage being gained, but we'll see how that one plays out. What's going on just behind here is Dean still under pressure, but just behind that lot, that looks like Schrott under pressure from Whiting. Whiting we've seen take a big chunk of curb earlier on into the corner at the end of the hangar straight, and he chucks it down the inside, but that's going to leave him compromised on exit. Schrott is not letting it go. Can he brake later? He can't. That looks like a move completed by Whiting, who is coming through the field. Remember, he is making his way through the field. Di Stefano looks like he's under severe pressure now as well from the pursuing Miller. Sterling, of course, just in behind us. We're on board with Sterling now into Brooklands. A little bit of grass being kicked up by the Porsche. That's going to put them under pressure, I think. A little bit of less grip. Sterling takes a nice wide line through Luffield, try and maximise his exit speed. He's lost the rear. A little bit of oversteer as they approach the lap car. Maybe some dirty air gets in his way and it causes him to fall back a little bit into the clutches of Rosnov. We go a little bit further back again. We see Hayworth just clipping the grass on the exit of Luffield. The pressure now maybe just beginning to get to these drivers. Potentially the grip, the peak level of grip just beginning to go. It looks like we've got some action going on behind there. That's Strelitz on the back of Frisk onto the starts finish straight. Short straight here, of course, but the very fast high speed corner, Copse corner. Nothing doing there, but they look at them, they're alongside into the Maggots Beckett section. You need to be very careful. It's very easy for that curb to unsettle you as you come over that section. He's still applying the pressure. He looks like he's got the exit Strelitz has. He pulls out alongside the hangar straight as they come down into Stowe. He's got the inside line. He's maybe going to be a little bit ahead. No, he's not. So Strelitz still behind. Sorry, Fisk still behind. Strelitz sweeps round. They've got the drivers mixed up there. My apologies. But no overtake happened at that particular time. Look at this here. Sterling's got ahead of Miller. Sterling has taken Miller, and Miller's fallen back into the clutches of Rosnov. This is the battle for second. These four is for position. We've just passed the lapped cars. Rosnov takes a wide line. This is what we spoke about last time. The same thing that Sterling tried to do and lost the rear. Under pressure from Miller, but nothing doing this time around. Van Buren still behind Felizardo, Berman, Dalton, Dalbom now joined the back of this pack as well. It's Felizardo, the front end of that car, screaming in pain. It really is lacking in that front downforce. Van Buren pulls alongside into the Mackett and Beckett sequence, and does it happen again? He doesn't cut the corner this time around, so he's not doing it intentionally at least. But it looks like Berriman's now all over the back of Jeff. So this is Ferrari versus Ferrari. They can't afford to make a single mistake. Dalton and Dalbom there just tucked in at the back, potentially looking to pounce on any mistakes. Berriman goes, I can't tell if he's defensive or on the attack, because he's got the Lamborghini. He needs to be very careful. He's thinking about a move here, but Dalbom and Dalton looking very racy there as well. Berriman gives a wide berth. That's the sign of an experienced driver, but he's run wide. He's run wide, and I'm sorry for doing this, but through goes Dalton. Really couldn't help myself. I do apologise, Crofty. Dalbom also looking to make a move on Bezar. Doesn't happen this time around. Great action there, and I'll be honest, found some fantastically clean driving by these guys. It really is a credit to see, and a credit to Racing Series Europe. Conquer the world with Season 4's GT3 Championship. Whiting still trying to apply that pressure. Dean is just a defensive wall just now. He really is. He's doing a cracking job holding off Hayworth and Whiting behind. Townsend looks like he's all over the back of Schrott now. Townsend versus Schrott in the McLaren. McLaren versus McLaren. He has got the toe indeed. He's good on the brakes into the second to last corner. He's really flying now actually. Schrott looks like his tyres are maybe struggling a little bit. The number 2 car. See the oversteer there. Now what's going to happen here into Kopp's corner? Right, Townsend knows better than to try a move down the inside into Kopp's. However, Schrott's going to run himself a little bit wide, and that's going to compromise him on exit into now Maggots and Beckett's and Chappell. In the back end of that McLaren, he's going, he's almost going, he keeps it under control. Townsend will have had to have got out of that one. Great reaction by the Welshman. Aston Martin, of course, does not want to give up. He's sitting there pouncing, ready to pounce, as is. That's a lapped vehicle behind. Friedman's now taken Hammerland. So Friedman, who has pitted, has taken Hammerland. They've got yellow flags out in the Maggots and Beckett section for car 84. These four are not giving up. Car 84 is Frisk. Frisk lost the rear, it looks like there. Miller's got... Oh, what's happened to Ed? Ed's down in 5th now as well. I want to stick with this one because it looks like Schrott has the pace. However, the tyres do not seem to be responding very well to his commands. So keep an eye on that one there. We'll jump back up at the front. This Stefano is now 5.5 behind Hanowitz in that Ferrari. Runs a little bit wide there on Kopp's corner. Miller's got himself back up into the podium spot with Rosnov now in P4. Sterling's fell a couple of seconds behind. Ed Sterling struggling maybe now with that McLaren. Bergerton's a further 6 seconds behind, with Van Buren in 7th, half a second ahead of Dalton, and Berman a further half second behind that. Felizardo's now in the pits, very likely now repairing that damage. Probably maybe missed the boat on that one, but now we see this action again. Hayworth, Whiting, Dean, Hayworth and Whiting. Haworth, sorry, my apologies. Not doing well with the names this evening. I will get it right by the end of the season, that is a promise. The slipstream effect in full force here. Which way do they defend? The Sky McLaren sticks to the right hand side. Haworth down the inside. They're side by side, almost a little bit of wheel banging, potentially contact. That's allowed Whiting alongside now. Three McLarens all fighting for position. They come down to the braking zone. Dean. Oh, it's so close. Whiting and Dean. You could not get a piece of paper between them on the way into that corner. Again, another testament to the clean driving being shown this evening. As the sun descends on Silverstone and the moon arises, the floodlights will turn on and we will eventually move into officially night racing. We come on board, we can see the dusk sky. We're on board with Rosnov now, he's a couple of tenths just behind Miller. Di Stefano not wanting to let Hanowitz check out in front. He's pegged the gap at 5 seconds as well. Let's have a look at the cars that have pitted. So Friedman is working his way through the field just now. He's back up into P25 after pitting on lap 1. We'll see if his tyres can go to the end. Felizardo is there but 25 seconds behind. Wright, of course, involved in the accident, I think, at the start as well, with McCutcheon a further 7 seconds behind in 28th. Hamilton 29th, Ferrer is in 30th. Collar 5 seconds behind them as well, with Borcher, Quigley and Chulia all rounding off the field, all pitted. The question is, when everyone else pits, where do they come out? And that's what we're looking to see. That is the interesting strategy options we have this evening. So Kid Barrett still lapping reasonably well, kind of in a bit of a race of their own this evening. A couple of seconds behind Strulitz, a couple of seconds ahead of Frisk, but lapping well and lapping consistently, now up into 21st. Kanzel's in the pits. Kanzel has pitted. I wonder if it's a scheduled stop, if he was intending to stop just now or not. This is Rosnov here. He's all over the back of that Porsche. The Porsche doesn't look like it's having a very good time now. You see there, yeah, from the big parcel shelf on the back of that Porsche. We've got Rosnov, that sky blue Ferrari there, just trying to tow itself towards the Porsche. To the Cops corner, both of them absolutely smashed the apex. We've got yellow flags out for car 19, that's Whiting. Whiting's been in a big smash. He's been off the track. We've seen Whiting battling with Haworth and Dean. Wonder if that's been as a result of that. The steering does look broken. Needs to be careful on the rejoin. This Kid Barrett gives him a wide berth. He's smashing into the wall at the side of the track. That won't be doing him any good. He avoids the sticky out bit off the wall, but it might be better for him if he just returns to the pits. Davies now going past. The McLaren is not turning. He's stopped. He's going to pull that one back to the pits, and he does. He's in the pits now. He'll try and get that repaired and get back out on track. Whew. So that moves Townsend and Co up to 15th overall. Townsend's managed to get himself in front of Schrott. Schrott's now got class behind in the Aston Martin. I think just behind them is Chulila, I think, who's a lap down. And we've got the Honda NSX just pulling in there in the background of Van Wanrooij, the 13 car, who's having a much better evening this evening, it does have to be said. Lombardo's under pressure now. We've got we've got this Haworth. Haworth is on the warpath this evening. He is putting everyone under pressure. No one is safe. The Ferrari is very slow through those corners, probably due to lack of front downforce. He's defending hard. Haworth done amazing to keep himself out of the back of that Ferrari, but that's brought Dean back into play. And the more this goes on, the more it's going to bring Townsend and Schrott into play as well. Townsend's still under pressure. He's not gotten away from Schrott probably as he would have liked. We'll come back to that one in a second. That battle happening just behind this lot. And almost pushing around Luffield. And that's now brought Dean back into play. Three cars into Copse does not go. Please no one try that one. He takes a lot of curb, that McLaren does. That's maybe going to put him under pressure. Thinks about it into Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel, but no, it's not really a place you want to be sticking your nose up the inside of another car. Look at the pressure there. He's got the exit. Haworth's now side by side with Zoetenbeer in the 101 Ferrari. So that's Lombardo, my apologies, I've got the cursor on the wrong driver there. And they're side by side now as they come in to Vale. Is there going to be... Oh! Went for the switchback, he's down the inside, but that move looks to be completed. Dean's now applying the pressure. Look at the view Dean's got, he works that wheel. Look at the work going through that steering wheel of Dean's McLaren. Does Dean fall into the trap as well? The Ferrari struggling on downforce, needs to be very careful, makes no contact. He backs out of it. Is there contact being made? Oh, that was so close. The Ferrari keeps position for at least one more corner. Oh, we'll come back to that one in a second, but this looks like there's been a penalty being dished out by the stewards. Sky McLaren putting the pressure on Lombardo in the Ferrari. The Ferrari's got some straight line speed, doesn't it? Where it's lacking is that front downforce. We see he's not able to get the car turned in. That's allowed the McLaren alongside. It's exactly what happened on the last lap as well. Look how close it is. Now, here we go. Do it, do it, do it, do it. I've seen this one before. Does he give the position back? There was contact. He's pushed him out of the way. He doesn't. Dean is going to continue on. So, Haworth has just jumped himself in the pit lane. Wright has managed to come out of the pit lane with a stop-go penalty. Dear oh dear, all goes from bad to worse for the American. I do like those orange lights on the side of the car, I have to admit, it looks very nice. That's a stop-go penalty for Wright. McCutcheons came out in front of Wright, it looks like, as well. Miller's not let Di Stefano go. Di Stefano is absolutely flying. But he has got Miller pushing him along the whole way. And we see the lights now, darkness has really fell. It's got suddenly very dark here at Silverstone. Who's that? Went straight on at the back. That's Rosnov. Oh, he must have some lag issues because it looked like he went straight off there. He's still carrying on. He definitely wouldn't be carrying on if he carried on in that speed into that corner. What's going on back here? We've got, I think, a couple of lapped cars. I think the 187 of Van Buren's been held up. And that's put Dalton and Berryman back on, put them back on Dalton and Berryman's radar. Friedman's now caught up to the back of Davies after pitted. So he's nearly caught up a whole pit stop on Davies. Oh, as Friedman has to get out of it there. Big change in big difference in cornering speed between these two. No obligation to move over, of course. Nearly a bit of oversteer nearly ends both of their races. But Friedman's managed to get himself through, gives a wide berth to the Audi driver, but it's not as wide as he maybe thinks. Oh. I'm going to have to get my blood pressure checked after this race because it has been so close. Di Stefano is, and both of these two have actually closed in a little bit on Hanewicz. I think Hanewicz has just lapped someone. Hanewicz looks like he's now just got past that McCutcheon. Maybe that's held him up just a little bit. He's lost maybe a little bit of time as he comes through the traffic. Of course, Miller and Di Stefano will have to go through that same traffic, but something to note is we have had pit stops from Sterling. Lizardo, who's now fallen down behind. He's just taking class. He's fallen behind Friedman. Townsend's pitted and rejoined in 23rd, just behind McCutcheon. Townsend's going to be the next car to be approached by the leaders. So we'll keep an eye on these two battling for second place. It's a close fight. Miller looks to have the front end grip. So, we are now, we're not even halfway. Oh. Are we halfway? I can't tell. Have we just passed halfway? What, we're 75 minutes? Yes, I think we've just passed halfway. So we've got just over 42, just under 42 minutes remaining. Half of the field have pitted, half have not pitted. I think Whiting may be done for this evening. I think he's still in the pits. Oh, is he out? No, he's out. He's not made his mandatory pit stop though, so that'll be something. I need to see where he ends up as the race continues on. Fisk's in the pits again as well. I think Dean's just gotten past Lombardo. So let's have a quick rundown of what's going on, because a lot's happened. We had a massive crash at turn 1. Not turn 1, sorry, on lap 1. Between... what part of the track was it? Between Stone Vale. Huge crash, multi-car pile-up. That one will need to be investigated later. I think a lot of drivers who pitted early were involved, and Friedman seems to have maybe a little bit of damage but has fought his way back up. Sterling is the leader of all the cars who have pitted. Hanewicz has pulled out a small gap of about 4 seconds to Di Stefano. Miller's been pushing him along very nicely after a strong showing last time out as well. I think Miller is definitely involved in this championship fight. Jeff Van Buren's came in at the last minute and put in an absolutely cracking race. He's dragging along the Australian Dalton very nicely. Of course, it's morning for him just now. It's a great way to start your day with a bit of sim racing. Beverman is tucked in nicely behind him as well in P7. Magnus Dahlbaum's fell back from this lot a little bit. I think he's been a little bit of damage there on the side of his car, but still running very strongly. It's a good performance from the Swede. Zoetenbeer is just behind them, another couple of seconds, and we've got a bigger gap back to Dean, who's running very nicely in the Sky McLaren. Lombardo, who's been suffering from a bit of front end downforce, lack of downforce there, running in P11. Schrott is in 12th, with Kid Barrett this evening running in 13th. Bit of scuff on his right door, and he's got, I think now Ed Sterling, who has pitted, coming through. Now this again is for position. There's no obligation to move. Look at the cornerman speed of that McLaren. It just handles those curves so nicely compared to the big chunky front end of that AMG Mercedes. Dalton is in the pit. Dalton's pitty. That's released Jeff Van Buren and Ben Berriman. So again, this is not technically for position. However, there's no obligation to move. Barrett's still to pit. Does he elect to move out of the way? He may even pit actually at the end of this lap. No, he doesn't. He's going round again. So Ed Sterling's going to have to do it on the track, and this is killing Sterling's race this evening. Sterling takes a different line just to let him know that he's there, but he needs to be careful. Barrett is lapping a little bit slower than Sterling at this time of the race, so he takes it into consideration. The last thing you want to do is carry too much speed through the corner and just end up in the back of the car in front. He's going to get a little bit of a toe down the straight. Does he think about the move this time? It looks like he has. Now we're halfway through the race. Thank you very much, Italian Jeff, for letting us know that one. So we're halfway now. This is the halfway point. We'll see a couple of cars, I think, now just begin to jump in. One of those cars is the leader, Adrian Hanowitz. So Di Stefano is going to take over the lead of this race. Sterling's still behind Barrett. He's going to do it here. Surely he has to think about a move down the inside. He does think about it, but that Mercedes is very quick and very good on the brakes. He's going to be compromised now as he comes through Village, and he's now onto the Brooklands straight, and I think this is where it's going to happen. Look at the difference there. He's now alongside, and that prevents, that's good driving actually from Sterling, who has kind of prevented Barrett from taking that wider entrance line into which should compromise him on exit, but it's not. The AMG has pulled very nicely out of the corner, and the dirty air now impacting Sterling. He really needs to get past this Mercedes very quickly if there's any hope of a podium this evening. Bergerton is absolutely flying. What has happened? What's happened to... Where is he? We've lost a driver, we've lost Rosnov. As Sterling now pulls alongside into Stowe and gets the move done. It looks like he has got it done. Hanowitz tries to push his way past Schrott. Hanowitz has been desperate to get through these cars. Absolute ruthlessness by the current champion. Pushes his way through the field, through the lapped cars. Of course, that was essential. So while Sterling was being held up, so was Hanowitz, but Hanowitz just says no. Pushes his way through. A little bit further back there, Townsend has got the Aston Martin of class in front. I think that's Dean behind as well. Has Dean just came out the pits? Yes, he has. So these are all for position. You do see a lot of these drivers do use different lines through some of these corners. It is interesting to see them in the same car still using different lines. That reflects their various driving styles as well. Bergerton's leaving the pits. Where does he rejoin? We've got car 91, I think, coming round Cops Corner just now with 208. That's Friedman. Bergerton's came out in front of Friedman, but Friedman's still there. He's brought himself back into a challenging position for the race. Miller's now dropped a second behind Di Stefano. Van Buren still lapping as well. Of course, all the cars now modelled up. Some cars lap, some cars not, but this one is for position. Lombardo's on the back of Canzo. You see nighttime definitely has descended now. As Canzo's rear end looks to be screaming in pain. This is the strategy call that we had. Some drivers will go into pit, some will go in and not change their tyres, only take fuel on board to get to the end of the race. That saves them about 20 seconds, 15 to 20 seconds in the pit stop itself, but puts them potentially in a more vulnerable position as this race goes on. So here's a battle that's currently going on. Townsend's on the back of Class. We see just how close they are coming through Stove Corner. Looks like Townsend, both of them actually ran a little bit wide there on the way into Vale through Club onto the Hamilton Straight. Silverstone looks amazing at night time, it really does. One of those tracks that doesn't necessarily have the floodlights, but it still seems to light up with the cars going round. As Dean misses his braking point there just behind this little battle. As Townsend thinks about it down the inside. The Aston Martin looks like it's struggling. Townsend is flying. The one thing that Aston can do though, however, is drive in a straight line. Look at the difference between the two of them as they fly down the Brooklyn Straight. These guys will need to be very careful because just behind what's going on up front here, we've got Lombardo almost nudging the Audi through. Oh, that's put Canzo now in the position to come back at Lombardo. Canzo's taken the racing line and they make touches, a huge crash into turn one. They've taken the brake marker board out. And that nearly could have spelled disaster for those two. And as these battles heat up, they're going to be shocked when they see the lapping cars of Di Stefano. Oh wait a minute, we've had another pit stop as well. Miller I think has pitted, he has. He's came out behind Hanowitz and ahead of Sterling. 4 seconds to Hanowitz. Class now thinks about a move down the inside. JT Jamie in the chat joining just as the race getting a little bit spicy. Yes, these drivers are now beginning to cook as Class cooks down the inside, cooks their brakes and made contact. Dean has to get out of it as well because it caused a chain effect. Oh, it's contact, and that's Townsend went through the middle. They're parting off the seas almost. They're side by side now. What's going to happen into this corner here as they've got the leaders coming through? The slight contact there. Townsend had the corner. Who have we got coming through here? That is Di Stefano. The race leader being held up by this lot battering. We knew it was going to happen. I called it 2 laps ago. These guys need to be aware of it. But here comes the leader through. being held up, and that is going to play right into the hands of Adrian Hanowitz, who, just keep in mind, is still absolutely flying, holds the fastest lap of the race. Oh, I need some time to catch my breath after that one. It's great driving, great anticipation from Townsend to avoid that one. The Pink Panther sleuthing his way through the field. Will Friedman is now only a second behind Bergerton. Bergerton this is for position. Kid Barrett still not pitted either, running in P7. Great race from them. We'll see if that strategy works out later on. Dean's now on the back of Townsend. Townsend's made a mistake somewhere. As Dean takes a huge chunk of curb, very likely unsighted by the back of the massive pink rear wing, the pink parcel shelf. And it has got now spicy. It's taken them about 45 minutes to get the cooking really going, but it's really spiced up now. So here's one going on just now. This is, I think, Wright trying to unlap themselves actually. I'm not too sure. No, it's not for position. Let's have a look through the field. What is going on? Because there's been action all through the field and now it's died down a little bit. So let's see if Friedman can cook up a little bit of tastiness for us. Thought he was going to throw it down the inside of Copse. Instead he's threw it round the exit of Copse, carrying maybe a little bit too much speed through the dirty air there. Genuinely thought he was going to attempt at Hamilton. Didn't do it that time around as Barrett finally pits the last. Yep, Whiting's still out there as well, yet to do a mandatory stop as well. Neither has Buren, who's leading the race. Jeff Van Buren leading the race, of course. I've just had a look. Di Stefano's ahead of Hanowitz. Hanowitz must have been off somewhere or held up or something. Di Stefano or Di Stefano. This is what I was talking about earlier on. Di Stefano maybe has not taken tyres in his pit stop while Hanowitz did. So that's going to put Hanowitz in a massive pace advantage as we close into the final dying embers of this race. This is one of the strategy things we were talking about at the start, and what makes Racing Series Europe so exciting to be a part of, because all these strategies have been, all these races have been well thought out. Any different strategies all kind of come together in the last moments of the race to really keep everyone excited. And we've got loads of cars bunched up through the Maggot and Beckett's area. That looks like Schrott is involved there. We've got the lapping car of, I think that is right behind. Look at the pace difference. Oh, Wright is desperate to get past. They're both in the same livery. It makes it very confusing, of course, for myself. Of course, you are allowed to unlap yourself. There's no rule against it. Once you're past, you must pull away within a couple, I think it's 8 corners. I think Haworth is now closing in on the back of Felizardo as well. I do like that car actually. I like the livery on that one. Let's have a little look at it. Can't see that it's dark. Thank you very much. Darkness at Silverstone. So Haworth's putting in the laps. He's closing down a little bit here to the cars in the front. That is Felizardo. And Felizardo's only about the same distance behind Albon. There's the 3 of them in the same picture. Van Buren's still out there, leading. He's yet to pit. So where is he on the track? He is there. He's just coming into Brooklands now. Di Stefano is on the start of the Brooklands straight, so he's going to definitely take him. The gap between Hanowitz and Di Stefano is one I do want to keep an eye on, as Friedman's now all over the back of Bergerton. as they come through just at the end of the Hamilton straight there into the village. So this is the village and this is the loop, and this is Aintree, so that's it. Village loop at Aintree. I will try and keep that one in mind as we carry on this evening. We're on board with the Porsche of Will Friedman. Interesting camera shot here. He does think about it, but he's definitely thinking about it, a move down the inside there. Bergerton carries too much speed into the corner. So see, Dalton's kind of out there on his own. He's dropped Berriman. We'll keep an eye on that as well. Freeman's alongside, and I honestly thought he was going to go for it here. So this one is for position. This is tasty because Freeman is now trying to recover from the accident at the start. Van Buren has rejoined. He is behind, I think, Friedman and Bergerton and Dalton. Yes, he is. Van Buren, I think, is behind Peter Dalton. And the driver tracker will update itself now in a couple of seconds. There it is. So Van Buren's rejoined in 8th, ahead of Berriman, Dalbom and Phil Lizardo. Peter's going to drop off a little bit there actually. Dalbom's now still in front of Phil Lizardo with Haworth, still lapping, just keeping the gap around about the same. We're in this section now of the race, but really anything could actually happen. We're 20 minutes from the end. This is when the tyres are going to begin to go. So do not go anywhere. We are going to see some fireworks yet. I am absolutely sure that we have not seen the last of the action. We come on board McCutcheon as he is applying the pressure to Class in the 21 Aston Martin. A good recovery actually. McCutcheon was involved in that accident at the start and looked to have came off one of the worst. He's now back into P17, fighting his way through the field. He's done a cracking job so far. Yeah, he knows what he's doing. Look at the gap close now as they come up into... Nope, I forgot Village. Doesn't make him, doesn't punish the Aston Martin now. Can he open his entrance up to maximise his exit through the loop? He's went a little bit too wide, fractions, millimetres, a little bit wide, and the Aston Martin, as we have seen, is an absolute rocket ship in a straight line. Gap between Hanowitz and Di Stefano at the front is now 13.6 seconds. We'll wait for that one to update itself very shortly. Haworth has not let Phil Lizardo off the hook. Haworth is absolutely pushing and determined to get this next position. So, where do we stand? With 20 minutes left in the race. Di Stefano leads. Question mark over whether he's taken tyres on his pit stop, which Hanowitz I think has. Heinrichs is the fastest car on track and is closing the gap to Di Stefano. Miller is in third, 3 seconds further back, and flying tonight as well, and definitely a part of the championship conversation. Sterling is a couple of seconds behind after that one, and Friedman's finally disposed of Bergerton to get himself back into P5. Bergerton 6th. Dalton running a very good race this evening in P7. Jeff Van Buren coming in as a reserve in P8, Berriman in 9th and Dalbaum in 10th. Dalbaum just leads Felizardo and Haworth, who we're watching just now, in 12th. Zoetenbeer is 13th, Lombardo 14th, Townsend 15th, Klaas 16th, McCutcheon just tucked in behind there as well. Dean, Schrott and Strelitz make up the top 20. Frisk, Barrett, Davies, Hammerlund, Ferrer, Wright, Bocher, Collar, Whiting and Cholila make up the next 10. Kanzo is running currently low. He's in the pits just now. We'll see if he's able to continue. If he's able to get back out on track. We're watching this here. Haworth is now pulling out to the inside, thinking about a move down the inside. He gets his braking all wrong. Nearly hits the back of Felizardo. Nothing doing this time around. Good driving by the two of them. So we'll have a quick time check at the front here. Hanowitz now coming across the start finish line now. 11.9, so the gap is closing. The gap definitely is closing. And Friedman there as well. I think it's a little bit further behind now. I think 5th might be the best they can hope for this evening. Never say never though. Anything can happen in Racing Series Europe, and it usually does. So we'll see if Friedman, who definitely would have had to have taken, or very likely would have had to have taken tyres at the start. Maybe not though. We'll see what happens. Berriman is really now beginning to close on Van Buren as well. Under a second separates those, but Haworth is still the man applying the pressure. As is McCutcheon. Look how close these two are. McCutcheon again, we've just joined on the back of the straight here, and we can see, even with the slipstream, that Aston Martin just flies. But look at the closing speed. That Ferrari on the brakes. McCutcheon is very experienced, knows what he's doing, knows not to throw it down the inside. However, he needs to be careful, because just behind him, look at that Sky McLaren almost pushing him through Luffield. So McCutcheon's now almost having to go defensive, potentially. McCutcheon really on the back end of Class through these sections. Look at the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin looks like it's struggling through the corners that require the downforce. And look at the difference. Look at the closing speed. He pulls out to the inside. He backs out of it. Doesn't want to just throw it down the inside. Look a little bit further back as well. Schrott, I think, is still holding up, or not allowing Wright to pass. Wright goes down the inside, flies straight through the two of them. What has happened there? McCutcheon must have got the absolute fight of his life, as you see the McLaren just fly through. What's happened to Wright? That looked like a brake failure of some kind. Oh dear, right, okay, so McCutcheon still holds, so the result of that is Claas is now 2 positions down. McCutcheon and Dean have both gotten through. Schrott is now tucked on the back of Claas. So an interesting one there for sure. I know I certainly got it right. So McCutcheon's 5 seconds now back from Townsend with 15 minutes to go. The leader's just cleared car number 54. As Hanowitz there. The gap's now 10 seconds with 15 seconds left. Don't know if maybe the right choice was not to take the tyres. We'll see how that one plays out. This appears to be the best battle on track just now. We've got Schrott and Klaas battling tooth and nail. Look at the difference in speed through Chapel as they come onto the hangar straight. The big run now down into Stowe Corner, and we see again the McLaren's fast, but the Aston Martin is an absolute animal in the straight line. But Schrott thinks about it down the inside. The Aston's trail braking into Stowe. That is the fastest way round there, but they've run it a little bit wide. Nothing doing that time at all, but dust being kicked up there from Dean in front as well. I think Klaas is really in trouble here as they jump on board with Schrott. He's on the grass. On the way in, he's got the tyres dirty, he had to lift off. That's compromising his exit. The Aston Martin is absolutely struggling on tyres. You can see that from the cornering speeds. Schrott's running very wide. He's going to throw it down the inside. The Aston Martin driver leaves them room. Very good driving, has to be said. They've got car number 55. That's Haworth in the pits. What's happened to Haworth? Has he been in the wall potentially? Missed what happened there. This is what I'm talking about. The tyres are just going for some of these drivers who have tried to risk it. It may be the case that not taking the tyres was the best move, and that is looking more and more evident as the race goes on. So look here, we've got Frisk in the Ferrari. He's got Barrett for close company as well. Only half a second splitting those guys as the leaders just went through. Hanowitz in the 38 car is now approaching these two that are fighting hard as well. So we'll see if Hanowitz has got the nerve that he's shown last time just to make his way through the traffic. It really was brilliant to watch last time around. That looks like Frisk has run out of position through Copse Corner. Barrett's thinking about it, but the leader's coming through now. First he's got to get past Barrett. Hanowitz has been held up. He's now ran it wide over the rumble strip. A big bump there on exit. I can't watch this just now because it looks like Hanowitz is going to surely not try it down the inside there. He's alongside Barrett. He's not let him back on, but he is now through as Hanowitz tries to make his way through the field as he's let two of them through. He's let them. Oh no! I mean, that will suit Barrett just fine. Frisk tried to let the leader through, and he's lost the position now to Barrett and Strelitz in the same corner. So Hanowitz still lapping very quickly. Miller's only a second behind mine, and Miller's now got to try and navigate these guys as well. Barrett's moved way off track, and what is he going all the way out there for? Barrett's now lost that position back to Frisk, and now got Strelitz on his rear end as well, but Miller's got himself through. Ed still 4th, Will 5th, Bergerton 6th. Dalton is closed in the back of Bergerton now as well. Look at this bar, this one's been going on for quite some time now. Looking back from the rear wing off the Aston Martin. Of course, Klaas still on the rear of Dean as well, but this missed the apex. I thought maybe Schrott was going to find his way through, didn't this time around. And Klaas has locked the brakes and went too deep. That's going to allow Schrott through and relieve some of the pressure on Dean. And that one's been coming for a while, and again another example of tyres just beginning to go off. Davies still running as well. Remember, Davies started in the back of the grid, currently running 23rd. That's an improvement of about 13 places. That's a good race from Davies, and he looks to find his groove. It's good so far from them. So, driver on the move just now is Schrott. Schrott's now on the back of Dean, and they're side by side as they come into Brooklands, and they make contact. The front axle of Schrott hits the rear axle of Dean. He's flashing his lights, I don't know what for. He was the car making the overtake. He's also still got class behind, needs to be very careful with that one. A Sky McLaren looks like it's struggling in a straight line. Schrott's taking an inside line, that's going to maybe compromise on exit, because look at the speed of class now as well. These four have really got... Oh, Haworth's now. Haworth has joined this battle. Tato Nation has joined the battle. Strudlett's only a further couple of seconds behind as well. Look at these all vying for position on the straight, trying to break the toe. We've got 8 minutes left. I've lost track of what's happening at the front end. Schrott thinks about it then the inside. Where's the contact? I don't know. As Dean tries to rejoin. He's carried a lot of speed and there's contact. He hits the back of the Aston Martin. That's now going to allow Tato Nation through, and it hits him again. Dean hit in the plain dodgems this evening in the final 10 minutes of this race. Here's one. Here's a man who's been absolutely flying. A couple of cars actually. We've got Zootbender, who's just been taken by Felizardo, and McCutcheon has been on the warpath for the last 15 minutes, or rather the last 70 minutes almost, as he's now on the back of Townsend after catching that 5 seconds up. This is the battle for P14 we're watching just now. We're on board with McCutcheon. Into Cop's corner they go. Ferrari's been through the walls this evening. There's both run a little bit wide. McCutcheon's got to get out of it. Townsend's on the inside. McCutcheon sweeps round the outside, and McCutcheon, I think Townsend has maybe let that one go, at least for now. He's got a good exit out of that straight though, and just in front of these guys we do have Lombardo, Zoetemelk and Felizardo as well. Or at least Lombardo anyway. So McCutcheon might make his way up to P13. Haworth's alongside Class now in the Aston Martin. Aston versus McLaren. This is a tricky braking point as well. Who's going to be last on the brakes and still make the corner? The Aston goes deep on the brakes, keeps the corner, does well. Dean's coming through there in the Sky McLaren. They're side by side into this corner, and very good driving by Haworth. He backs out of it. There was a massive sausage there, and he did not want any part of that at all. Just ahead, Lombardo's now got McCutcheon and Townsend for company. They caught them very quickly onto the Brooklyn straight here, and McCutcheon's got a flying exit. Which way does he go? Left, right, left, right. He doesn't know which way to go. Up, down, round the corner. Where does he go? Nobody knows. But McCutcheon's on the racing line. Lombardo's on the inside. McCutcheon backs out of the, at least on this occasion. Let's jump on board with Townsend, who's got the best view in the house of this battle. And before it kicks off behind, I'm going to have a quick look further behind. Look at this, 5 cars still fighting for position. Here, this is all for position. The battle really is for between 11th and 20th. Anyone from 11th and 20th could finish in any order this evening. Absolutely amazing to watch. And of course, they've only got a couple of tenths between Bergerton, Van Buren and Dalton there as well. McCutcheon sees all over the back of that Ferrari, and I'm going to jump back as well to see the battle behind very shortly after this overtaking move, because the one Ferrari, the red one, has went to the inside. McCutcheon sweeps around the outside. He's able to brake a little bit later, and there's contact. They hit each other side by side. McCutcheon's been forced wide, and that's allowed Townsend back through. McCutcheon been in the wars this evening, as has Townsend, of course. A little bit further behind, Strelitz is defending from Haworth. Dean is got shot side by side as well. The action really unfolding here in the last couple of minutes, and this is exactly what I expected to happen as the race came to its conclusion. McCutcheon's still back there. Townsend's got in front. Yep, Townsend's still in front. Gap is 6 seconds between first and second. Bergerton's still out there in front as well, with Van Buren defending hard from Dalton. No, Dalton's in front. Dalton's got him. And McCutcheon's going to have to do it all over again now as well. But Dean's now out in front. Class 14 seconds ahead. What's happened there? Dean's now there. Schrott in the 18th. Haworth 19th. There's flashing going on. It's Di Stefano. He is the leader. He's trying to get through. Haworth gives him the racing line, at least, as he makes his way through the traffic. And these three still battering. It's so difficult. Maggots, Beckett's, into Chapel they go now. This is where McCutcheon done it last time. Maybe he's now suffering a little bit of damage. His car might be feeling a little bit like a bag of something. We've got drive-through penalty for Felizardo from P11. That's going to drop him way down the order. Di Stefano is going to be very careful. We've got a rejoining car in the front. This will be holding him up. Hanowitz, of course, will have to come through the same lot, but they're even now in the same straight. They're both on the hangar straight at the same time. Only 2 minutes left. He's ran wide. Doesn't pick up a penalty, at least not on this occasion. Just behind, Schrott is still battling hard. Townsend still got McCutcheon for close company as they come into Village. And Townsend's defended it very nicely. McCutcheon's taken a wide line to try and maximise his exit speed out of the corner. And you know what? He has done a very good job of that. Look at the three of them now coming down the Brooklyn straight into Brooklyn. McCutcheon pulls out to the inside. Again, nothing doing this time around, but look how compromised. This is going to compromise Townsend on the exit of Luffield. McCutcheon's got that corner opened up so nicely. He's going to be on the throttle very early as the drive-through is cleared. And they're side by side now. This is the into Cop's corner. This could be very delicious, very spicy. He's down the inside. Oh! It's Hamilton and Verstappen, but how it should have happened. That's how clean drivers go through there.
Right, man.
The leader has now started the final lap. Di Stefano is still navigating the traffic. It is battering oh so vigorously in front of him. He's flashing his lights. He's desperate to get past because he knows Hanowitz is now only 4 seconds behind. He's a massive chunk into that battle. The Sky McLaren sideways going through Beckett's sequence. Look at that, they're in the same straight now. He's flashing, he cannot get past. What's going on here, guys? He's hit him! He's hit him! Oh! What are you guys doing? It's blue flags. You've got to move out of the way for the leaders. This one is absolutely going to be going to the steward's room. Dean is not going to... He's went off track to make the overtake, but I mean, it's a lapped car. He should be getting out of the way. I have great sympathy for Di Stefano in this situation. Van Buren's still 2/10 behind Dalton. Townsend still holds off McCutcheon as it stands just now. And Tato Nation, Haworth in the 55 car is really pushing on now. It's so close, they're neck and neck. And if you've stayed with us for this whole race, and I can't wait for these drivers to look back at this action that's unfolding in the last dying embers of this one. Hanowitz now having to come through the traffic as well. It's absolute chaos. There's Di Stefano there, he's finally got through everybody. As Hanowitz now has to try and make his way through as well. This was his chance. The gap's now 2.7. Just in front we've got Haworth and Schrott. Side by side. We've got blue flags waving. None of them are going to want to give way. Absolute chaos. But Di Stefano is going to come across the line and take the checkered flag and the win for race 2 here at Racing Series Europe. Hanowitz comes through 3.1 behind, Miller a couple of seconds behind there as well. Sterling is currently running in 4th. What an end to that race. Sterling's on the back of a lapped car now as well. Takes the checker flag, finishes 4th, keeps himself in the championship. That is a good recovery as it stands. Friedman now coming through, great recovery as well, flashes like in celebration, and so he should. Bergerton's going to come home in 6th place as he leads Dalton by 0.6 of a second, and Van Buren a couple of tenths behind as well in P8. Berriman comes home again, another lonely race for Berriman, but in the top 10. Great driving from Bezabi. Magnus Dalborn, who joined Racing Series Europe in the dying embers of Season 3, has a fantastic race, finishes in top 10. He'll be thrilled with that as he crosses the line now. Zutenbier comes home in P11. Feliciardo, who had a stop-go penalty, fighting his way back into P12. Hopefully it's not actually cost him that much. I think maybe cars behind were under pressure. He's going to come across the line. Lombardo has been holding up these two all race long. McCutcheon has taken Townsend, I think, on this last lap. There's been so much going on, we must have missed it. Townsend's ran wide actually on Luffield, luckily no one behind him. McCutcheon fighting to the line, but it's not going to be enough. Lombardo takes 13th, McCutcheon 14th. Townsend comes across the line in P15 and is the last person on the lead lap to do so. Woo! What a race! What a race! Obviously, there's some action needs to be looked at. I'm going to see. That is a full race replay that I am just about to say, but it looks like the cars aren't actually loaded on the screen. That would be disappointing if that is the case. There they are. So we do have the cars, I think. Yep, there we go. So we can have a look there at the race start, I think. So, quick look at the finishing order. Dazzle Townsend in the chat. Oh wow. Yeah, oh wow indeed. What a finish to that one. That was amazing. If you're one of the drivers in this race and you go and watch this race back, you are in for an absolute treat. Just do remember to like and subscribe, of course. I am doing this off my own back. I do want to be racing as well, but this is for Racing Series Europe, so at least give me something out of it. Do like and subscribe. So, finishing in first place, we have Di Stefano takes another win for the championship, first. Hanowitz recovers back into P2, takes the fastest lap. 3 seconds, what's the difference between the strategies this evening? Marcel, thank you very much. I did see your comment pop up on the screen, but I did miss what it said as there was so much going on. I do apologise for that one. Miller takes a podium. Great start to their championship, and Sterling rounds off a strong start as well. Will Friedman with a brilliant recovery there into P5. Bergerton 6th holds on to 6th from Dalton and Van Buren. Then we have a string of Ferraris. Starting with Van Buren, we have Berriman, Dalborn, Zoetenbier, Felizardo, Lombardo and McCutcheon. Townsend takes 15th. Class in 16th in the Aston Martin, who I must admit they provided a lot of action this evening. Thank you very much for that, Class. Dean as well was in the wars in the Sky McLaren. Great to see that as well. Haworth in P18, Schrott, Haworth, Dean, Class, Strelitz, all doing a fantastic job of us, making it as entertaining as possible. Thank you. I do not want to go through the results anyway. Qualifying race. Barrett finishes 21st. Great result for Barrett, of course. Fisk finishes 22nd. Darren Davies 23rd from the back off the grid. Forer is 24th. Hammerlund 25th. Wright, it looked like had that massive brake issue there, I think, towards the end. Finishes 26th. Bocher 27th. Collar in the Audi 28th. Not liking that car. Whiting 29th. Cholula 30th. We've got there in the chat, I think it's Haworth, advising us taking a second stop as they miscalculated their fuel load. Unfortunate to see, but great recovery, and of course gave us some fantastic racing towards the end. Cholula was last of the runners, but did finish 30th overall and will secure, I believe, some points. Further behind, non-finishers, Jamal Kanzo 31st, Rosnov 32nd, Quigley 33rd, Van Wanroosh 34th, Carl Marley 35th and McKeel 36th. And of course myself in the commentary position for this evening. Thank you very much for watching. That has been an absolutely amazing race. I am not going to drag the outro out of this too much. I just want to say that this has been amazing, and if you are interested in taking part, please check out simgrid.com and follow Racing Series Europe. Do like and subscribe to this channel to see every race this season for season 4. I will be doing every single season apart from round 4, unfortunately. I'm not available that evening. Every other race will be streamed live for everyone's excitement. So thank you very much again. Congratulations to Di Stefano, Adrian Hanowitz and T. Miller. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you again this time next week. Until then, take care.